Hey guys, here I am with the famous and infamous man of the mic, the master of the ceremonies, Mr. Stephen Eakin, Bobby Botham. Man, what a season. PGF Season 7. Tell me some of your closing thoughts for today as we get ready to head into the individual playoffs and championships.
Closing thoughts, we talked about it a little bit earlier this week. Rough season. Very rough season. I've been a part of every season since season 2 in some capacity and watched even season 1 and never seen anything to this level at all. It's kind of making me consider, what can we do in the future maybe to mitigate some of this? Is there potential rules changes, teams, format changes, or something to incentivize these guys to maybe make it to the end of the season,
It really is pretty wild to see. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence, though, that Team New Hope Regeneration brought some new records to the record books this week.
Okay.
Right? Now, part of that is we were very blessed that we didn't have any injuries, first and foremost. Now, we almost doubled up on points on everybody, right? We had 80 points. The next two teams had 45 points.
Wow.
Right? It was that big of a deal on the point spread, right? And so much so that we actually had to loan our alternates to the other teams because the other teams went through their regular season players and then went through their alternates.
The other alternates, yeah. That was, again, crazy. Who would have saw that coming? Definitely after the draft, you guys weren't even considered to be a team that was on the radar. There was Intrana and
First Form.
I believe First Form were the two guaranteed
everybody thought
locks,
that those people were taking it home,
and rightfully so. They had really great players on their teams, and it just kind of looked that way.
Right. But now check this out. This is another thing that you guys don't know about. Our coaches thought they had to save 2,000 of the initial 10,000 points for the alternates.
Oh, wow.
So the reason that they were sitting back and didn't bid as deep on a couple of the players, like maybe Kyle when he came up, was because that thought they had to save more points. So even with all of those shenanigans, New Hope was setting crazy records this year, and we only bid off at 8,000 points instead of the 10,000.
And so then that accidentally landed you the highest scoring player, Ryan Eakin, almost by default because you had the most money left when he came up as the last choice. Wow.
How wild is that? Nobody knew that.
It was meant to be. It sounds like it was New Hope's season no matter what, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And how great was it that New Hope's team was the healthy team throughout the whole thing?
Right?
I heard you guys did some things for them as far as, all the athletes actually, but with your team taking them to, recovery centers and things like that. Is that something that you think would have helped your guys or other athletes?
Other athletes, yeah, absolutely. The recovery part is a huge process, So, for example, in the soccer world, a huge percentage of their practices are recovery, right? It's not just time on the mats or just times in the fields, but equal parts recovery to training. And as that starts to become more known, we're going to see that shift in the fight world as well. And that's my passion. How can we help these guys stay well and healthy as possible? Fighting is a grind, and people don't understand how serious PGF is. Guys are like, man, I roll hard every night in my academy. And what would you say to guys who say that?
You don't roll this hard every night in your academy.
No way.
10 rolls, nobody's trying to tear your head off every single round.
Right.
There's not cameras. There's not, all this money on the line every night. You're not doing interviews. You're not out of town. There's so many things. It's not just the rounds. That's why, again, the preparation is key for everything. And it's not necessarily how many rounds you can go consecutively. It's how many rounds you can go day to day to day, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so a lot of jiu-jitsu athletes and fighters that I know, myself included, in the earlier times, every day, no days off, right? That was the motto, no breaks, you always had to go. And now on the other side of that, at 41 as a coach with a school, I try to tell some of my younger athletes to, hey, let's take this weekend off. Let's take, you went hard today. I know tomorrow is Wednesday, but you can come and hang out, and you don't have to go hard. You can just kind of come and just be with us if that's what it is, right? You don't have to come and destroy your body further, because it's actually going to hinder you from being the best in the future, right? Sure. And that's when you're the best.
And what a lot of these young guys don't understand is you hit 35 and shit changes. Like, you're going to think, oh, that's never going to be me. And then every 35-year-old, every 40-year-old, every 45-year-old finally is like, damn, that's me.
It catches up.
Right? It catches up for sure. Now, that's what we're so excited about, right? Being offering regenerative therapy, helping these guys change that trajectory. So my dream is and goal is to have these young guys implement this into their protocol, the same as their supplements, the same as the creatine, the same, like how can we have them realize that I could change this trajectory? And what I say is, if you won Mega Millions at 25 and someone could teach you how to be smart with that money, what would that do for your bloodline for generations after?
Man, you can't quantify.
You can't quantify.
You can't quantify that.
So not thinking that stem cells are only for when I have that, I blew my ACL, I need stem cells. No, what if I could start implementing stem cells once a year, every other year, younger, instead of waiting until I'm broken? Man, it's a lot easier to take that pot off the burner when the smoke detector's going off, instead of waiting until the damn house is on fire and then I call the fire department, right? Those are two very different things.
Dude, I've never even really thought about that as a preventative maintenance kind of thing. Obviously, like you said, I've only ever thought about it for recovery, as far as like already injured or some other type of pre-existing.
Do you know in rest of the world how they refer to stem cell therapy? Life extension medicine.
Really?
Yeah, they don't even really call it stem cells. They call it life extension medicine.
Dude, we were so like misinformed in our younger
it hurts
age
my
and
heart.
stuff like that.
And 90% of our organization's work week is spent combating misinformation from misinformed people. I had a woman here the other night who just argued with me. I mean, she knows nothing about stem cells. I got a friend who, goes over here and this is what they say about what you're doing. And I'm like, well, fantastic.
Yeah.
But so this is our goal, right? How do we help people learn the truth, learn the reality of what it is? We've done therapy. Imagine if you've created 400,000 black belts. People would be like, that guy probably knows what he's doing, right? And that's where we are, right? New Hope Regeneration are the black belts of the stem cell world. And more importantly, we've made it accessible to fighters and their families. So why don't you wrap it up with what are your predictions for tonight in the individual finals?
There was a little bit of a shakeup in the way that the bracket went, but my prediction is still going to be that Ryan and Marcin are going to be the last two standing there. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Paul Ardilla makes his way into there somehow, because he's quality, man. I don't think we saw his best stuff even still. And so I think he could possibly have a chance. And then as far as who's going to take home the prize, man, I keep going back and forth in my mind between Marcin and Ryan. They're both just like studs,
super
and
soldiers,
gangsters, and and Ryan's my buddy, so I'm gonna go with him because he's like Ryan, a local guy. He's a friend of mine from back in Georgia. So
well, here's something I want to leave with this. I think you just hit the nail on the head. What PGF is doing is creating a fan base ability for people to fall in love with their favorite fighters. No different than we had our favorite team and our favorite players: football, basketball, baseball, hockey. When I came to season 5 in Decatur, Alabama, and I got to listen to you on the mic, I got to watch this format, I got to see what PGF was doing, like I kind of fell in love with Travis and Cam. And here's the craziest thing. I watched these two guys go. I was blown away by their hustle, their heart, their passion. And season 7, I got to be a team owner. Season 7, I got to recruit them on Team New Hope. And season 7, they get to go home with that money.
That's nice.
I'm covered in goosebumps. I'm so happy for these boys. It's been a dream come true, man.
Yeah, and so definitely someone like Travis, again, a friend of ours, PGF, student of Brandon's, and then Cam Hurd, man, he literally bleeds on the mat. He leaves it there every single time. So, man, to see him be able to get a nice paycheck out of it too, man, quality humans getting paid, it's great for the sport, and you guys are educating and helping a lot of us going to be able to continue doing this for a lot longer here in the PGF and everywhere else, honestly. So,
amen.
Man, I'm excited.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate what PGF is doing, and New Hope is happy to be here. We're going to be here for a long time, helping thousands of people.